Students, welcome to my class. In my today's class, we shall discuss about forex. There are two ways of understanding a forex quotation. Especially forex quotation is quite complex for an average person. It requires a little bit of training and knowledge to understand this quotation. However, it is not very complex when we understand and go through the basics of it. Any foreign exchange market quotation always uses the abbreviation of the currency. We shall discuss the foreign exchange market quotation in two ways. One way is the direct quote, which is also called as a direct quotation. The other one is the indirect quotation. Now, what do you mean by direct quote or direct quotation? Direct quote is a quote. It is a quote where the exchange rate is expressed in terms of the number of units of the domestic currency per unit of foreign currency. Now, what does that mean? Under this method, the quote is expressed in terms of the domestic currency. This means that the rate expresses how one unit of domestic currency relates to the foreign currency. So, if unit of domestic currency were to be exchanged, how many units of foreign currency would it get? That is what is called as direct quotation. This quotation is also called as price quotation method. Now, if you look at the example that I have given here, $1 is equal to 81.40. So, which means I can say that 1 unit of dollar is here in terms of some unit of domestic currency. Which means that it is a dollar direct quote for an Indian in India. It is referred also as rupee over dollar quote. Remember that the same quote when quoted in US is not a direct quote for an American. Similarly, I have taken another example. 1 pound, 1 Great Britain pound is equal to 1.23 USD, which is also a direct quote of pound in USA, where I can say that 1 unit of pound, a foreign currency, is quoted in terms of some unit of domestic currency. Here in this case, we have USD. It is also called as dollar over pound quote. So this way we can have many such quotes. What do you mean by indirect quote? An indirect quote is a quote where the exchange rate is expressed in terms of the number of units of the foreign currency per fixed number of units of domestic currency. So we can say that rupees 100 is equal to $1.23. What are we doing? We are expressing a standard unit of rupee, that is the domestic currency for an Indian, in terms of some unit of foreign currency, here in this case dollar. There are a couple of rules that we will have to remember while using the quotes. Now, what are those? First one is find which currency is transacted. 2 is find whether we have quantum of currency to be transacted. If you think the answer is yes for both, then you should go to establish or determine the quote. Thereafter, you can use that quote to answer the question. If we do not have the quote of the currency, then you may have to convert. You may have to convert the given quote. Continuing, let's see some of the exercises in direct quote and indirect quote. I've taken a very simple question. The question is, from a Japanese point of view, which of the following pair of quote is a direct quote and which is the indirect quote? I've taken 6 examples here. So the first one is JPY over GBP, which is Japanese yen over the Great Britain pound, which is 164.87. Now, if you look at this, this is a direct quote. How do we say? Now, I have already told you a direct quote is one where 1 unit of a foreign currency is expressed as some unit of a domestic currency. So in this case, for Japanese, if you look at Japanese, JPY is a home currency. So therefore, this is the direct quote. Second one also, here you have the same Japanese yen over USD, which is a direct quote. Another example is Japanese yen over Canadian dollar, which is also the direct code. On the other hand, when you look at GBP, Great Britain pound over Japanese yen, is 0.0061, which is indirect code. Yeah, and USD over JPY is also an indirect code, and Canadian dollar over JP or Japanese yen, which is also the indirect code over here.